If you can hear my voice, can you pretend like we're swimming through the ocean? If you can hear my voice, can we pretend like we're flying through the air like an airplane? If you can hear my voice, can we listen up? How's it going, folks? It's Pat from Asphalt Green's Recess Enhancement Program here with another instructional video for you, this time for our game Explorers, okay? Before we can hop into the details of the game though, we of course always need to start with a safety check. So before we start any game and after we finish every game, we always want to make sure that we and our students are washing our hands for at least 20 seconds, okay? We also want to make sure that our hands are going nowhere near our face at any time, all right? And if anyone needs to cough or sneeze, you just need to do the most natural motion in the world. Dab into your elbow, just like that, okay? And of course, we always want to make sure that everyone is standing 6 feet apart from one another so that everyone is properly social distanced, okay? So once you've done that, you finished off your safety check, I just need you to give me 2 choo-choos like a train, and then let's get started, all right? So choo-choo, let's go. Based on those choo-choos, I think we're ready to hop into our overview of Explorers. And wait, what's the name of the game? It's something to do with seeing new things and going on adventures. Well, it's Explorers. That's the name of the game, of course, folks. And as you can probably guess it, since we'll be going on an adventure, this is a great game to play with students who are in kindergarten up through around 2nd grade, okay? It's just they get so enticed by it. So students within that ability level in age range, they'll really, really enjoy this one, okay? What's great about Explorers too is that you don't need to go to like under the sea. You don't have to go on some mountain climbing adventure or anything like that. You can play Explorers in just about any room because the exploring is all done within a story, okay? And students will be doing motions associated with that story, but they won't need to move from their spot, okay? So it can be played anywhere. And with that in mind, students will be able to maintain social distance, therefore. They'll be able to stand in their spot and stay 6 feet away from everyone else, which is great. And all of the adventuring doesn't need any equipment whatsoever, so students won't need to share any items at any point. You just might want to have some cones so that students know to stand by that cone at all times. But we'll get into that as we go along, all right? So no shared equipment, proper social distance. The game is super, super safe. You've never been on a safer adventure. And what's great about adventures, they're super, super fun, all right? So students will have a great time playing Explorers. But let's get into the details of the game rather than talking on a broad context here. And as we like to do whenever we discuss the details of any rep game, we like to rep it out. So we're going to start off with R, ready, and talk about how we can get ready for Explorers. So the first thing that you're going to want to do in order to get ready to play Explorers is to map out your play area and to designate your boundaries, okay? As I mentioned earlier, students won't really be moving from their designated spot, okay? So they won't be moving all around the room. So long as you have an area that allows for students to be in one spot and be 6 feet apart from one another, you can play in that area, okay? So just keep that in mind. Of course, it's always to designate the boundaries of that play area though, and to mark it off with either cones or tape, okay? So once you've mapped out your play area, you've designated your boundaries, right? What you can then do is do a quick safety sweep. You can make sure that any items that might pose a safety risk to students are removed, and you can think about how to work around any items that can't be moved, okay? Then, once you've done your safety sweep, you can lay down any of the equipment that you might need, okay? So for this game, if you want to lay down cones or tape to designate your boundaries, feel free to do so. Something that we also believe would be extremely useful is to put down a cone for every student that you have playing the game, okay? And if those cones are 6 feet apart from one another, that means that you can tell students to stay by their cone, and at all times, students will stay 6 feet apart, okay? So if you laid out your equipment that designates your boundaries and mark off your play area, you've laid down your cones for every student within your group, that means that you're ready to gather everybody up, okay? And what you can do is you can use the attention grabber that I used at the beginning of this video to gather students up and have them stand by a cone, okay? So you can say, if you can hear my voice, can you swim like we're going through the ocean? If you can hear my voice, can you pretend to fly through the air like an airplane or a bird? And if you hear my voice, can you find a cone and stand by it? All right? Then, once you have all students gathered up, right, standing by a cone with only one person